to replenish that stock. And it is concerning, I think, that many companies, I go back to 1987 when I started in the business, how many companies were bringing people into this business, and really how few there's left doing it. And I think that's a major issue, not just for companies and advisors, but long-term, I think, for clients as well. From an advisor perspective, we try to partner very strongly with our existing field force because they have their own succession realities in their individual practices. Many of these advisors that have built up large books of business either want to one day exit their working career to enjoy retirement or slow down their working career, but have a huge sense of obligation to that ongoing relationship that they have with their clients. So the partnership that we have with our existing advisors also plays a very key role in our need to replenish the stock. Our challenges, hiring new people is not an easy business, and it's certainly not an easy business today. Our retention is 28%, our 4-year retention, and that's something that we really want to see grow, and we spend a tremendous amount of time, not only just in the type of training that we're providing, but also the improvement in terms of the likelihood of success in terms of the people we hire through selection and recruiting initiatives. But some of the issues in hiring people today, there's economic issues. It's interesting, I was at a meeting yesterday and they were talking about the difference between Generation Y, Generation X, and the baby boomers. People that are coming to our business today have very different motivations than when I came in, or Bob, when you came into the business. They have different values, different beliefs, different ways that they measure success. So it's really trying to stay current in terms of what motivates people, what they view as success in their careers as well. Candidates are a little more cautious today, given some of the economic environments of coming into the financial services business. So you need to really kind of explain the opportunities that are out there a lot more clearly. And people have different personal economic challenges today than maybe that they have 5 or 10 years ago, which might have some suitability issues in terms of them coming into the business. We spend a lot of time on our recruiting footprint because, again, to hire 500 to 600 people a year, you need a very wide net in terms of how you attract people so that you can make the best type of selection decisions possible. And we spend a lot of time in retention. As I mentioned, people learn differently today, so our training strategies and how we influence their success is different than it was in the past. And finally, the complexity of the business. When I started in the business in 1987, and I started with London Life, we really had to learn how to sell par life insurance. A new advisor that comes into the business today learns how to sell par insurance, universal life, term insurance, mutual funds, segregated funds, disability insurance, critical illness, mortgages, and the list goes on. So it is a very complex business, and one that it takes not only somebody that is self-driven and motivated, but somebody also that has the ability to learn and adapt those strategies as well. From a growth perspective as an organization, certainly we are very committed to this part of our value proposition for the reasons I've already laid out. But we also strongly believe that it requires an investment. And again, an investment in our future, but our investment is through bricks and mortar offices that we have across the country, our managers, the type of training that we provide. Every advisor that starts with Freedom 55 is dual licensed. They have a LLQP license and an IFIC license. We pay for that training school. It's a 5-week program where they come out with 2 licenses. So there's a tremendous amount of investment. When they start with us, we spend a lot of time on product support, sales process training, technology, compliance. I was fascinated to hear the end of the regulatory conversation, because that's certainly an issue for advisors and certainly an issue for new advisors as well. We spend a lot of time trying to develop mentorship relationships. Again, we have a tremendous resource in our established advisors. Many of them have built up large books of business. We have a lot of new advisors with skill and talent. So the opportunity to marry some of those relationships is a big part of what we try and do as well. And we spend a lot of time helping them with their marketing strategies and their and their business development strategies. But that is a key part to attracting people to this business is that, that type of support that's going to allow them to sustain their careers, not only in the industry, but with our organization as well. And I'll close with this. I think the industry needs to take a really fresh look at how it brings that next generation of advisor into the business, both from an advisor perspective in terms of where your practices will evolve to, but probably even more importantly, from a client perspective in terms of who is going to continue to provide that next generation of advice. And I think that's a tremendous opportunity for all of us. So at that stage, I will turn it over to Sam, and certainly be pleased to take any questions after.